How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I visited Bonsai School of London, met Louis and Nacho, lovely people, very welcoming. They're doing amazing things with bonsai. The fact that the garden belongs to Louis and it's his personal collection is just mind-boggling, to be honest with you. The quality of the trees is just phenomenal. But you'll see in the footage, I mean, I don't think it'll do it justice. Like, you really have to sort of go and visit to appreciate what's in front of you. But yeah, I definitely urge anybody that's near London, like Hampton, to check out their school. It's definitely a game changer. So I'm going to let the video play now, and you can see what you think.
Hello, I'm Luis Aragon, and this is the Bonsai School London. Alright, so hello everybody, my name is Luis Aragon. I have a big problem, which is that I'm hooked on bonsais, and as you probably can see, I like working on them, and I like collecting them. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about maybe my story with bonsai, which is I started doing bonsai probably about 10 to 12 years ago. Before bonsai, I used to have carnivorous plants, and I was really hooked on carnivorous plants. But I felt that the bonsai kind of allows you to express yourself in a more artistic way compared to cultivating plants carnivorous plants, because carnivorous plants is all about just cultivation, but you really cannot shape them, you cannot really think of an idea that you want to execute like bonsai allows you to. But anyway, 10 years ago, I first bought a tree off eBay. It was quite a nice tree, and that kind of like hooked me on it. Since then, I started taking different approaches to learning, from internet to having like one-to-ones with different artists in the UK. I work with Peter Warren and also with Nobu Kajiwara. And eventually because I'm Spanish, I kind of realized that in Spain there is a lot of material and there is a lot of hobby about bonsai. And so obviously whenever I went there, I started making contacts, and I was very lucky to come across people that had trees available, also Yamadori collectors. And so I started to get materials, and I would bring materials. This is obviously before Brexit. And then I started building up this collection, and also met people like Nacho Salar in Spain, who is a professional there. And then he started coming and visiting my garden and then helping me out with the trees and the collection. At the very beginning, I kind of went through what everybody goes through, which is you just get trees and more and more and more and more without really understanding the effort that you have to put on these trees, and the quality of the trees. It was more like, I was a pure collector, that I was just trying to get trees and buy more trees and buy more trees. And I think then I came across this issue, which is that when you've got all these trees, sometimes you don't really know what to do with them, or you don't have enough time to give them the proper attention that they require. And also I didn't have the knowledge, so I started kind of trying to seek out a little bit of an education. It's difficult because I think here in the UK you get an education, or many people get it, going to bonsai clubs. And bonsai clubs, you get people with a lot of experience, but you get like a lot of mixed signals of how to do the same thing in many different ways, and this actually generates more confusion. You get more confused than anything. Nobody really kind of gives you a full explanation of the A to Z about bonsai, and so you just learn by watching and seeing what other people do. But this of course means that that's fine when you're an apprentice on a nursery, right? But when you have a professional that comes to your garden once every month, it's very difficult, because then the next time it comes around, you almost have forgotten what they did the previous sort of time that they were here. So I kind of thought that maybe it would be interesting to set up some sort of course, and actually this idea came from the fact that in the Crespi, so Crespi in Italy is like a museum but also a nursery, and there they run a 1 year, or they used to, I don't know if they do anymore, they used to run a 1 year course where essentially people would commit for a whole year and then really cover all the basic aspects of cultivation, and that I thought that was a very good idea, because essentially you then get almost like a base level of knowledge when that people can access and then take on from there. So then I talked to Nacho, because at that time I was working with Nacho, and sort of proposed to him whether he would be interested on coming to my garden if I could get a group of people that were up for this challenge of committing for 4 classes, and whether he was able to kind of deliver a course that was focused on cultivation, really, so that you learn how to handle bonsai, you learn about soils, you learn about fertilizing, you learn about the diseases that you encounter, and really that to give like a very solid basis for people to kind of start doing bonsai. And then of course later on it comes the artistic part, which is more down to individuals and what they want to do and what they like. And sometimes I feel like some people like trees with the branches up, because I feel like people have in the UK they kind of have generally different preferences to the styling of the trees, because technically the trees in the UK, if you go to the forest, they look very different from when you go to a forest in the Mediterranean region, right? Where here you see all the trees are tall, big, and all the branches are going up, because they really are looking for that light that is, sometimes not plentiful. Whereas you go in Spain, to the south of Spain, for instance, to a forest, and you can see all the trees are almost like bending down with the, almost in a sort of protective sort of stance in a way. And I think, when you are little and you're growing up and, you see those trees, that's the representation that you think trees should really represent. So it's not the same for people that, grew up in one place versus the other. And I think that is more down to your style, that there is no wrong or right. It's whatever you like. It's like colors. However, when it comes to cultivation, that's pure science. I mean, and I think I felt that this is something that can be taught without any controversy, because styling, you might like a particular artist, and people then say they have opinions, oh, this guy is better, or I like that, or that I don't like. Well, that's up to every individuals, but actually the art, the sort of horticultural aspect, that's pure science. And I thought, well, this is something that you would not really, there would be no controversy on this, and I think it's something that I felt people would benefit from, because I have benefited from, and I was not able to kind of seek this knowledge of basic cultivation. Talking to Nacho, he kind of said, okay, fine, let's do it, and I got a group of people that were interested, and then I set up this school, which I call the Bonsai School London, which is pretty much in my garden, and Nacho just comes every 4 times a year for a day, and then people come, and then we usually have like first classes on soils, second is on fertilizing, and third is on pests and diseases, and the fourth is almost like a summary of everything that we've done on the year, and we kind of introduce some of the techniques for sort of styling the trees. And the classes are usually in the morning is a theory class, and on the afternoon is practical classes. And the students can bring their trees, and then Nacho kind of helps them if they have problems, or helps them with the styling. Or similarly, when people don't bring the trees, then they can work on the trees that I have here. And I think the other thing is, because over time I've been getting, I guess, more trees and better quality trees, and also having trees at different stages of development, from Yamadori pure trees that have been collected last year to trees that have actually gone into shows. Then it allows the students to really work on top material, which most of the time they would not be able to work on their collection. And meaning top material, it doesn't mean like necessarily a show tree, but also top material at different stages of development. So for example, if you think about people having a Scots pine and thinking, oh my god, I have to repot this Scots pine, how do I do it? You're a bit like hesitant. Do I touch the root ball? How much soil do I take? Do I do this or that, right? If you've been in one of these classes, then in the morning maybe you've been learning about substrate, and in the evening you've helped between all the students to maybe kind of repot this Scots pine that we've got here. And so obviously that allows you to, if you are able to repot this Scots pine with us and see how that process is, but pretty much when you go back home, smaller trees that maybe you have in your collection, you're absolutely fine to do, because you've experienced almost like the most difficult job of that type, which is, repotting a pine. And so I think that's also a benefit that people that come to this school get. Another benefit is because I've got quite a lot of connections in Spain, I can sort of like get nice materials, and I try to offer them to the students so that everybody has access to, good quality plants for bonsai. Because I think what I've also learned is that not every plant, every plant can be a bonsai, absolutely, but there are certain features on plants that will mean that you will be a better specimen than others, and I think in a way when you think the time and effort and money that you invest on taking care of your trees, you really want to kind of have access to, this is particularly for Yamadori, to good specimens that you can develop, and it's going to take the same time and effort to develop something that at the end is going to be an outstanding tree than something that is going to be a nice bonsai. So one of the missions of the school is also provide the students with the opportunity to access really good material.
Hello, I am Nacho Salar. I am from Spain, and I am very proud to be here in this YouTube channel. For me, the United Kingdom British Bonsai World is very special, and I want to express how is my life in the bonsai world. I want to say you sorry very much for my English, because I am Spanish and I cannot dominate or write the idiom. I'm sorry for my dirty clothes, because I'm just finished one workshop with all the Bonsai School London. I have got a course just finished. But I want to share with the British bonsai world my experience about this passion of art that there is the bonsai. No, I remember when I was a very young boy. I was 30 years in bonsai. I'm 50. More than the half of my life is with the trees, because I grow in my childhood. When I was a child, I grow in a village with in the nature. There isn't machines, there isn't computer, there isn't technologies. We play with the nature, to hunt, to fish, to take with the nature, and the relation with the nature, they enchant to me, because when I am 18 years old, I finished the high school and I go to the university in the city. When I was 2-3 weeks in the city, I cannot breathe, too much cement. I don't know what's happened with me. And one forest guard is a very friend of my family. They asked me, Nacho, what's happened with you? I'm not happy in the university, because there is a cement jungle and I don't see the green, and I need to breathe oxygen and nature. I don't see animals, I don't see trees. And this forest guard say me, Nacho, why have you got a terrace in your student flat? I say, yes. Why you don't do bonsai? Bonsai? What is this? This is my beginning. It was a discover, because I can feel that I can to continue my connection with the nature. I can to continue even if I'm studying in the university. And when I was studying in the university, I feel that my connection with the nature is bigger and powerful. And when I finish, I study economy in the university. But when I finish, I say, okay, I finished this, but I am not interested in the money, because you know the economy is the money way, the money world. I am not interested. I am interested to feel with the nature, with the trees, and I starting to investigation, to research, to look for in these times. 30 years ago, there's no information. There isn't internet. There isn't books. There isn't good master that can teach you in a good way. And then my life has been growing and correction. Growing, correction. Then this is the way that I am learning until 2005. That I think I want to learn something more, but nobody around me can to help me, can to teach me anymore. In 2005, I say I cannot continue growing. I was thirsty of knowledge, but nobody can to feel my thirsty. And then I decide to go to Japan to drink from the source. No? And in 2005, I came for the first month, and I discovered the Japanese world and the Japanese bonsai art. And I think when I go back only for 1 month, I say, okay, I wanted to go back to study seriously bonsai. No, in 2008, 3 years after I learned, because they don't learn. The Japanese people don't used to speak many English, and then for this reason, I need 2-3 years to learn Japanese. I study Japanese to communicate and to understand the idea about the bonsai. And in 2008, I was with Nobuichi Urushibata in Taishoen. It's a bonsai nursery in Shizuoka in Japan. And I was with him 3 months, and I have learning a lot of ideas about how to do. I can see that my master say me, okay, Nacho, you have got a very good idea about the design, but you need to spend a few kilometers of wire because your wire is not enough, no. But your style is good. Continue, no. And I was in 2008 for 3 months, and I absorbed a lot of, and I go back to Spain. I starting to teaching for beginners in my province. I am from Malaga, from the south of Spain. I'm sure you know Malaga. If you go to any time to Malaga, please, you are invited to visit my bonsai garden, my nursery. Of course, it will be a pleasure to receive British people there. And when I was teaching during 5 years to beginners, I felt that I was empty. I need something more to teach. I need something more to learn. And then I have decided to go back to Japan in 2015, no? 7 years after. But when I arrived to the same nursery, to Taishoen, with my master Urushibata, he has died 2 years ago. And I was back with a lot of pictures about my trees, how I developed the learning ship from 2008 to 2015 in 7 years. And I showed to my master, he say me, how many times? Actually, I say 7 years. He say me, okay, you have learning a lot of, but you must to continue. But in 2015, when I was 3 months there, I was really surprised because my master starting to put me in my hands top quality trees. And I cannot understand why he give me a very good trees, but it's because he started to trust in myself. He trusted in myself more than myself. And this is a little bit my history in bonsai, but when I go back in 2015, I started to be a national master in my country. But 4 years after, in 2020, just before the COVID, I've got a friend. I know a friend in London. It's called Luis Aragon, and we are very good friends. And we decide that maybe we can to add something to the British bonsai world. And Luis decided to say, Nacho, why don't we do one bonsai school? Because there is an official bonsai school at least in London, no? I say, of course, Luis, it will be a pleasure for me. And we produced that you know now is a Bonsai School London, that we are the garden. Where you have the trees with the moss and the wicks, and you every time it's a different touch, because here I didn't know. It's a challenge for me. It was a challenge. It was because I didn't know new species, new idiom. I don't know the weather. The weather is produced, and then during the last 3 years, I was learning. I was a learner in the British bonsai world, but in the last 3 years, I have discovered a lot of things about the behavior of the trees. Even I have put trees that they was with me 20 years. Imagine if 20 years with one tree in my garden in Malaga, I know perfectly him. It's like my son or my daughter. But when I put here in the United Kingdom during 3 years, I can to observe the behavior of the tree, because I observe the tree every time I came here 4 times a year. Bonsai School London offer course for these times. And I can observe, I can learn a lot of things about the behavior of the trees, and the behavior is not so different that you can think. It's only a question of adaptive mechanism of the trees. No? But now I have got the experience to understand the trees here, and the mission that we feel inside is to share the knowledge that we have taken from in Spain, in Japan, even in Great Britain. And the mission of Bonsai School London is to offer a good quality idea about how to cultivate the trees. I want you, sorry me, but I want to say you something. I am very surprised about the British bonsai world, because here there is a very, very good quality trees, in my opinion. Everybody has good quality trees, but in my opinion, I think the idea about how to cultivate or ride the trees in this country is not very clearly. And then maybe my mission is to add to the people's thing something that you can to continue enjoy, continue learning with the bonsai. And if you learn how to cultivate the trees here, that is more easy than in Spain, you can be sure. If you understand how to cultivate the trees, it's so easy to do here that to shape and to do, you can to start, you can to go in the creative side of the bonsai. But if you don't know how to cultivate or ride, I think it's not a good idea to start into design, because the trees maybe they don't going to survive about the shock that we did every time we style the trees. No? Anyway, I want to offer the idea. We are not only in the Bonsai School London. I understand that London is in the south of United Kingdom. 1 year ago we start in Birmingham, in Telford. I suppose you know Beachfield Bonsai from Mark Atkins. We start another project in the center of Great Britain, because Mark Atkins think that we can to offer this possibility to the center of the people that they are in United Kingdom. No? And in this idea, I have got 2 options for to help you if you want to know to learn something with us. It will be a pleasure to share my knowledge, my experience that is limited, but I would like to share with you in London or in Birmingham, or maybe in the next project that we have on the pocket, but we are not sure if it's going to be or not. But anyway, if we see any time in any exhibition, any workshop, any bonsai school, I wait your questions about because maybe my answer can to help you to have a best idea about how to cultivate, how to shape. Anyway, any master has got his own reasons, but I want to say you something. Trees never lies. And then I want you offer in this video, you see how are the quality of this school, how was the quality about this tree, how was the healthy, and you decide for yourself what do you want to do with your bonsai, what do you want to achieve. Because if you think I have got something to share with you, I am waiting for you. Thank you very much for your interest, and it's a pleasure to be in United Kingdom. Thank you.
If you like the video, could you just hit the like button for me? And if you haven't already, could you please subscribe? I've got plenty more like this video coming up. It's just been a case of waiting for the warmer weather. But yeah, now we're hitting towards summer weather. This is all going to pick up now, and this is the sort of footage you're going to be seeing. And yeah, that garden is just exceptional. It leaves me gobsmacked just staring at the trees. It's something else. But I hope you liked the video, and I'll catch you again soon.